Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura. I am so excited. Today, for the first time, I am joining the Decoupage party group hosted by Mary from Craft Away with May. And I'm so honored to be one of the co-hosts this month. And I'll talk a little bit more about this decoupage party in just a bit. But for now, let's get into my DIY number one. I took one of these wood round pieces that came to the Dollar Tree, and I painted one completely white. That's what it looked like when I bought it. And I did try spray paint, but it would not take, so I just ended up using my white chalk paint. And then I have this floral or greenery tissue paper, also from the Dollar Tree, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And they have different plants on this tissue paper, and I only wanted a certain type of plant. It was kind of curved on the tissue paper, so I'm going to be making a wreath on this, on top of this wood round. So here I'm just taking some water in my water pan. You can just use a brush, a paintbrush with water to do this. I did that before I had a water pen, if you don't have one. And then I like to take the end of a pencil that's not sharpened to tear my tissue paper. But these pieces were so small, I just ended up using my fingernail. And once I got all my pieces torn, I laid them out here into the design that I want. And I'm just going to add some Mod Podge and then lay down the tissue paper just like that. Then I'm going to use another paintbrush to help me smear the paper down. Make sure all the rugged edges are nice and laid down flat. I'm not going to be able to use heat to get out any wrinkles here, but these pieces were so small, honestly, I didn't get any wrinkles at all. So that I'm just adding all the paper here. And I did get a little off, you guys. It's not perfect, but I think if I didn't tell you guys, you probably would have never known. And here's what it's looking like. And now I want to add some feet to the bottom of this wood round. I want to make a riser or a stand, if you will. So I got these big beads. I've had them in my stash for quite some time. And my husband showed me how to use the grinder instead of the sander to flatten out part of the bead. That way, when I glue the beads to the wood round, it has a nice surface, to make contact with. Because I found if I don't sand down a flat part on the beads, my beads fall off, even if I use E6000. I don't know if I'm just rough with my things or what, but anyway, that's what I did, and I used the grinder, and it was so quick, you guys. It was like, I mean, it was so quick. It was wonderful. I thought I was going to have to sand forever. But anyway, that's what I did to all 4 beads. And now I'm going to take some E6000, and I'm going to add my beads. So on the wood round, it has 44 beads on there. So what I did is I just, every 11th bead, I just tried to, eyeball it and get it centered with that bead. And that's how I measured out my feet. So there's the one, and then I just counted 11 beads, and then I added another giant bead, and so on. And I did use some hot glue for that immediate hold until the E6000 cured. And that was it for this one, you guys. It's a perfect addition to the decor in my home. All right, moving on to DIY number 2. I have this frame that I picked up from the Dollar Tree a long time ago, and I'll be using that. I did take the glass out. And then one of the rules in this challenge or this decoupage party is to use an adhesive other than Mod Podge. So I'm going to make an adhesive out of clear glue and water. All Mod Podges really is white glue and water mixed together. So this is an adhesive, a homemade adhesive that you can use to decoupage with. So I'm going to take about a half a teaspoon of water and a half a teaspoon of the clear glue, and I'm going to just mix that well together, and that's my adhesive. I took the glass out of the frame, and now I want to clean it real well with some alcohol, and I cleaned front and back because I may intend to use one side and accidentally use the other, because that is the Laura way. So I just made sure and just cleaned both sides just to be safe. And I'm going to take some of that tissue paper that I used in the first DIY, and I'm going to decoupage that paper onto the glass. And here I'm just kind of seeing where I want, the design to be, what, that would look best coming through that glass. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'll just simply add some glue to the glass and add the paper. I flipped my tissue paper over. That way the good side of the tissue paper, or the more colorful side of the tissue paper, will be on the outside of the glass. So here I'm just seeing, where I want that glass to go. I think I got it. So I'm going to add some of that adhesive. And I do have to say, I don't think my measurements were quite right, because it was a lot runnier than I'm used to, and it started dripping, and I was like, oh no. So I was trying to wipe it. You can see it here. My fingers were getting sticky. And so anyway, I just laid my glass down where I want that, the design to show through. So that's what I'm doing here. And then because of the way that I added the glass to the paper instead of the paper to the glass, I got a lot of wrinkles. So what I did is took a makeup wipe, and I added some alcohol to it, and I just started rubbing the glass or the tissue paper onto the glass, and that helped. It had a little bit of wrinkles, but you're really not going to see the wrinkles in the end. So it worked out. I guess it worked out. It has to work out, because it is what it is, right? And then taking a emery board or sandpaper, or whatever you have to sand with, just sand away the tissue paper, and it's a crisp, clean cut. And I love this technique as well. It's another great hack that creators or crafters use when decoupaging. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just filing away the excess tissue paper. And then I'm going to add the glass right back to that frame, only the frame came with that tag holder on the bottom. I want it on the top. So when I added my glass, I made sure to add the back to where the stand was in the right place. I purchased this not too long ago from the Dollar General. It is a wind chime, and it's a plant pot, and it says, "Plants make me happy." And for the wind chimes, it's the metal rake and shovel, and I thought this was so cute. I bought one to craft with, and I bought one to use outside. So I'm just taking off the hanger, and then I removed the chimes. So starting with the pot, and I'm just using hot glue here. I just added that to the bottom of the frame, just like so. And then I'll add that boxwood, using some glue. I love this boxwood. When I see it at Walmart, I always grab 1 or 2 bunches. I use it in crafts quite a bit. So there's that, and then I'm going to take the rake and the shovel and I'm going to add to the sides. And I just used hot glue for this. I know hot glue is not the best hold when you're gluing metal, but for this video purposes, that's what I did. And just going to glue that shovel just like that. And how cute is that? And now I'm going to use these adorable stickers that my dear friend Mary over at Craft Away with May sent me. And these are roses. They're so pretty. It's like a pearl iridescent color in very light blue, a greenish blue, I would say. And I'm going to add 3 roses and then a pearl on each side. But after looking at it for just a few minutes, I was like, no, I'm not feeling it. So I took 2 of the roses off and I added 3 pearls on each side of 1 rose, and I like that much better. And then I took some coordinating tissue paper and I wrote the word spring, and I'm going to take a pair of scissors because I've got chubby fingers and I could not get that tissue paper inside that slot to save my life. So I'm going to use some tweezers, and these tweezers were not the best. I had to bend them a little bit, but I got it. I finally got it. And that was it for this project, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I think it came out cute. Let me know what you think. Okay everyone, I would like to tell you more about this spring decoupage party. It is hosted by May over at Craft Away with May, and if you have never visited her channel, you are missing out. She is a wonderful, kind person. She will make you smile. She will make you laugh. Her DIYs are just gorgeous, and you'll be happy. Go check her out. And she also asked me to be a co-host this month, and I am joined by Jenny from Lovely Moments Creating, Kathy over at Kathy Jo DIYs, Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIYs, Katie from Lady Red Crafting, and Kay over at Home with Kay. I'm going to leave the playlist link down in the description box down below. Go see what everyone made, you guys. I'm excited to go see, and go, show them some love and support and tell them that Laura said hi. Oh my goodness, I just cannot wait. Okay, so let's move on to DIY number 3. Taking one of these wood rounds, I'm just going to draw a line across the bottom of the sign. I just measured from hole down, where the hangers are, and I just roughly measured down and then was able to draw a line across. And then I'm going to take some spring green paint by Apple Barrel, and I'm going to give that a couple coats on the bottom. Ahead and painted the bottom portion of the wood round with white chalk paint, and I lost the footage of me actually decoupaging this adorable tissue paper that I have with flowers. There it is there. I just lined the edge up with the, against the green line, and, added the decoupage, added the tissue paper. I did have a couple wrinkles, so I want to iron those out. And a great hack to use is a heat press or an iron or something of the sort, and heat up that glue so it'll melt again, so you're able to just press the tissue paper into the wood. I just love this hack. I have had great luck using the hack on wood, not so much on other surfaces, but wood is, in my opinion, the best way to use this technique. And then taking an emery board, I'm just going to sand off the tissue paper, leaving that edge nice and crisp. I found this adorable napkin at Marshall's. Isn't that cute? So it's got the bunny and the flowers on it. So here I'm trying to decide, do I want the bunny facing to the right or to the left? I chose the bunny facing to the left. So I'm just going to cut that out. And then I'm going to remove one of the plies from this napkin. It is a 2-ply napkin. So you always want a 1-ply whenever you're decoupaging a napkin to any surface. I have this ceramic tag that I'll be using, and I'm just going to take some alcohol and I'm just going to wipe this down and make sure there is no smudges or oils or anything like that. And that is what I'm going to decoupage this cute little bunny to. I'm going to take my water pan, I'm going to wet the edges of the napkin and just rip it just like before in the other projects. And once I have that ready, I will decoupage this adorable napkin. And then I will just add some Mod Podge to the surface and then add the napkin and then add some Mod Podge on top of that. This one did wrinkle on me a bit, but it's okay. Add across to the top of the tag here. So I took a rub-on transfer. It came in a long sheet, as you can see to the right, and I just cut a cross out, and now I'm just rubbing it on to my plaque there, and that's what that's looking like. I took a round ring that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I painted it with that same spring green color. And now I'm taking some wood glue and I'm just painting it all on the back side of the ring. And then I'm going to turn my wood round upside down. I like to do these upside down because the wood ring doesn't fit the wood round completely, so I like to do it like this. That way I can get a better placement. And then I take some hot glue and I just go all the way around, making sure I have a good seal and this thing does not fall apart on me. I thought I was going to use that tag in this DIY, but I changed my mind, so I took the jute off, and then I took an upholstery tack and I just cut the tip off, and I'm going to glue that with some E6000 and make it appear as if that tag was nailed to my piece here. So here I'm placing things on there to see where I want things to go. I also cut out with my Cricut the word blessings, so my sign will say Easter blessing. So there I am, I'm applying that vinyl to the bottom there. And there we go, just like that. And I chose white vinyl because I wanted my piece to be cohesive, and it matches with the white tissue paper. That's what I was thinking anyway. So there's that. And now I just start, gluing everything together. So I'm using that same wood glue for the Easter word. And then I will use some E6000 to glue the ceramic tag onto the board. And some E6000 to glue the upholstery tag to the top of the tag, just like that. I just felt like it needed something, so I cut out some more bunnies, and I'm going to take some Mod Podge and I decoupage those bunnies right to the sides of the tag. And then I added a hanger with some white baker's twine, and this project is done. Okay, moving on to my fourth DIY today. I am going to take this sign this piece that I got from Joann's. Can't remember when I got it, you guys. It's been quite some time. I know I didn't pay full price for it because I don't pay full price for hardly anything. So I'm removing the tag here, and I'm just going to start working on this. I had fun making this project, I've got to tell you. I mean, all my projects are fun, but some are funner than others. So I am going to paint, and to make my video a lot quicker, I'm just going to fast forward through a lot of this and just explain because I don't want my video to be too long. So I am going to paint the tool parts with the color Elephant Gray by Apple Barrel, and I'm going to paint the handles with the color Khaki. The part in between the handle and the tool will be with the color Territorial Beige, and then watered down Territorial Beige will be used for the bar across where the tools are hanging from. And this is what it looks like. Sorry, I misspoke. The bar across where the tools are hanging from, or appears to be hanging from, is the color Burnt Umber. I just took a baby wipe and stained that bar, if you will. So it was watered down by the baby wipe. And now I'm going to take 3 thumbtacks and I'm going to paint the heads with the color Steel. And I want those to look like nails. So I'm going to use those to make it appear as if my tools are really hanging from that bar. And then I had this burlap bag and I just cut a strip. Now these are in the Crafter Square section, and I never got around to using that burlap bag, and it does have like a plastic backing. So I thought, you know what, this would look really cute on the handles of these tools. So I'm just adding some Mod Podge here, and I'm just going to Mod Podge that burlap right onto the wooden handles. And then once I had the burlap on all 3 handles, I'm gonna let that dry, and then I will show you how I trimmed it up. So using a file to trim the excess burlap or the material off of the handles, it just was out of the question because it did have a plastic backing, and I tried it and it just kind of, you know, tore it up. So what I did is I just took my detailed scissors and I just trimmed the best I could all the way around the tools, and then I just added some more Mod Podge to any places that were needed. I tried to hammer in those thumbtacks the best I could with no success at all. So what I did is I just ended up cutting the tips off of those and gluing them down. So I'm going to take a pail here. I'm going to get my wire cutters, and I'm going to cut the tips off of those thumbtacks inside my little pail. That way I don't have any flying metal pieces. You know, that could take an eye out. So this is another good hack to cut your pieces inside a pail, a trash can, a box, anything that will catch the flying dangerous pieces. And then I'm just going to glue those down just like that. Now, doesn't that look like they're hammered into that bar? So I did have to hammer a little bit because there is tiny bit of tack up, you know, poking through. So I just used some hot glue, and then I just tapped slightly with the hammer just like that. And yeah, that's how I achieved that look. Some of the paint came off of the thumbtacks when I was hammering, so I just touched those up. And then I have these daisies, and I'm just going to add a daisy there, and then a daisy to the third one, and then I'll add a pink flower to the middle, but I ended up changing that up as I often do with my DIYs. So here I was showing you, I had cut a thumbnail out of a calendar that I had in my stash, and it was just a thumbnail, and it's so cute. It says garden rules: plant seeds, pull weeds, and grow a happy life. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to print this little tag onto some tissue paper and then Mod Podge that onto this white tag that I have. Well, my printer would only print in black and white. I was so irritated. I gave up. And so what I did is I trimmed that calendar piece down and I just added that to the white tag, leaving that design on the top of the tag, as you can see here. And I'm just gonna go with it. I already Mod Podged the handles on the tools, so I was okay. So I just moved on. I added the tag to the shovel, just looping it around. I tied a knot to make the string shorter. And then I have this ribbon, also from the Dollar Tree, that I've had for quite some time. And I just wrapped that around the part in between the tool and the handles. Okay, this tag was bugging me. It just wasn't hanging the way I wanted it to. So I just took a little dab of glue and I just glued it down just like that. I had some rub-on transfers and I already added those, as you can see, to the tools. And you've probably all remember those from the Dollar Tree. I also had this blue flower that I thought would look much nicer. So I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to add another little flower right below that. And this cute garden sign is finally complete. Okay, you guys, my video is going to be so long, but once I started decoupaging, I could not stop. So I got my printer working and I wanted to show you all how easy it is, if you have never done this, to print your own tissue paper for decoupaging. I took a piece of printer paper and I'm going to cut down a piece of tissue paper a little bit bigger than the copy paper, and I'm just going to tape that down. I'm going to cut the sides of my tissue paper, and then just start folding in. And you want your paper to be tight. I mean, it doesn't have to be super tight, but try to get it as tight as you can, taping it down with some Scotch tape. And then here is the printout that I am going to be using. I will link the name of the author of this print up here to my right or left somewhere. It's a beautiful print. I just ran it through my printer just like you would any other paper. You just want to be mindful of how your paper, prints on the top or the bottom. So that's what I'm doing here, and it just came out absolutely beautiful, you guys. Okay, and I've already prepared my tissue to be Mod Podged, and I have this paddle board. Now this was a Thanksgiving sign. I just painted it with white chalk paint. Actually, I'm sorry, not white chalk paint this time. I used a wicker white by Folk Art. And here I'm adding the Mod Podge to my board, and then I'm just gonna simply add the tissue paper to the paddle. And here's where I ran into trouble. It has been so long since I've printed my own tissue paper. I forgot that when you're applying your tissue paper to the surface that you're using, you have to use dry fingers. Never wet the top because it bleeds. It's ink, so it'll bleed, and that's exactly what it did. It started bleeding. The green on the boot started spreading all over my page. It got on the wording, and I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? But you know what? This is such a beautiful print. I just started wiping it away. I went and got a wet wipe, and I just started wiping, and I was able to salvage it. Some of the green didn't come off, but you know what? It just looks like a shadow that was in the original print. So I still think it's absolutely beautiful, and I did not add any other embellishments to this piece. I just thought it was beautiful just like that. Again, I'm going to link the author's name right in the corner of the screen here. What a beautiful print. print out, I mean. Okay, for my final project today, I'll be making a hope sign. I painted up this sign I got from the Dollar Tree. It used to say, bloom where you were planted. And I used the wicker white, and I was just holding the snow white paint up to it to see if there was a different shade. I didn't see one. And then I'm going to take the letters H, P, and E, and I'm going to paint those all different colors. The H will be Aqua Blue by Folk Art. The P will be Celery, and the E will be Agave, and those are chalk paint by Waverly. And then I'm going to Mod Podge the egg. So I'm going to skip on over to where I start Mod Podging. Okay, so here is another printout that I printed out on some tissue paper. I will link the author up in the right hand corner here. I'm just going to add the Mod Podge. Now this tissue paper is a little bit smaller than the egg, so I will lose some of that wreath that's around the words he is risen, but that's okay. You'll still see the wreath. So I'm adding the Mod Podge, and then I'll just lay that tissue paper down. And then I ironed out any wrinkles and just pressed that tissue paper into the wood as I usually do. I sanded off the edges, and there it is. So here all my pieces are ready to be glued down. Now I saw this, I was shopping one day, and it was actually a chunky table topper that said hope with the egg. It was not the same colors or design, but that is where I got my inspiration. So I cut a little piece of craft stick, and I painted it the same color as the H with the agave blue, because I'm going to layer my letters, and it was wobbling. So I just, to make sure the glue came in contact with the board and so it wouldn't wobble, I added that craft stick. And here I'm just placing things down where I, think that they look good, just like that. And I just started gluing everything, and I used a ruler to make sure all my letters were straight as I can get them, that is. And that was it for this one. I also took some white baker's twine. I cut 3 long pieces. I braided it, and then that is what I used for my hanger. And I knotted it in the front, and that was it. Super simple DIY, and I think this is such a bold, beautiful piece. And here is the final reveal, you guys. Isn't that pretty? I just think it's so bold because it's such a bold message, and it's, soft but yet bold, don't you think? So anyway, there is the hope sign. Thank you all for watching my video today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, please go watch the playlist and show everybody some love and support. And if you're new, popping in from their channels, welcome. I hope you stick around as well. And with all that said, everyone, stay blessed, stay well, and I will talk to everyone in my next video. Bye for now.